Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman from Boss Mod. I'm going to talk about the INFJ. Why INFJ? Because I randomly picked it. So, um, first, in the four-member party system, you have your hero. You, as an INFJ, are an elf hunter. Your companion is a dwarf healer. Your newbie is an elf mage, and your escort is a dwarf warrior. And I'll break it all down. So, an elf hunter, as the hero, you like to give things time to kind of marinate, and so you can introspect and see patterns that are emerging. Okay, you can see what's going to happen based on how things have worked out in the past, and you use that to predict into the future what will happen. I'm going to read off some of the abilities, just some of the key ones, so you can get an idea of how you work if you don't know for some reason. Okay, so first, let's see, you have Vine Shot, which shoots a target and vines connect, and it helps you synthesize patterns and see, what's going to happen. Camouflage and Spirit Animal. So camouflage, all the elves have this ability to step back, right, as introverts do. So camouflage lets you take that step back and get some time and space to observe the surroundings. And for you, you're looking for different connections and patterns using your whole brain, actually. Trying to just piece things together and, see what's going to happen. So while you're doing that, you can summon this spirit animal. And that is basically your predictions of what's going to happen. So take that step back, camouflage, look around, understand the environment, and then fully summon this thing, this understanding of what is going to happen. Multi-shot, connect to ideas. Inner sight, deep insight. Critical shot, a lot of people will think what you say is critical. It's not good in the sense of like you're not optimistic or whatever. I don't know. You might have heard that before. But you're just being realistic, right? So I consider that a critical shot. Call of augury. On that critical shot, kind of tip right there, you always look at patterns, right? And the abstract ideas. So when you see some patterns kind of stacking up and you cut them away and you see the one true path that, all the events are going to take, you probably warn people about it, or at least tell them what's going to happen. And you are just so ahead of everybody else in that aspect that they're not going to believe you for the most part. And, you warn them. They don't believe you. You take a step back. Eventually when it happens, or just before it happens, they all freak out. And you're like, yeah, I told you. I warned you. I said it was going to happen. So that's what that is. I'm not going to spend too much more time on these. Freedom of movement. Prevent movement hindering damage. So you get to move easily between your conscious and unconscious mind so that you can analyze the situation. All right. So that is you. That is the elf hunter, the sentinel that you are. Supporting you, you have your companion, which is a dwarf healer. Extroverted feeling is a dwarf healer. You two are about the same level. It's like Frodo and Samwise, okay? He helps you, he carries you when you can't walk anymore. extroverted feeling, well, I'll do it in RPG terms. Dwarf healers are AoE healers that like to get into the fight and like to do their damage but still make sure everybody's healed. And they have things like boost morale, bunch of just AoE heals, stuff like that. Inspire people. And the dwarf healer aspect that your companion is, that gives you the ability to build bridges between people and help them out, inspire others, like I said, and puts you on that journey of connecting your abstract ideas to helping people. Okay, dwarf healers are all about harmony and meeting people's needs and making sure everybody feels good. Okay, so that's how your hero and your companion work together. And that is the larger part of the group. You know, those two hold the most weight, you and your companion. You're both about a level 30, which is, you know, the max level, let's say. And your newbie is a level 10. Your newbie is an elf mage, introverted thinking. And what that does is it looks at empirical data and makes a model of the world to try to understand how the world works. And it can kind of rotate things around and see if the piece of information fits within their understanding of the world. That's how an elf mage works. Excuse me. And if it doesn't, if that information doesn't fit in, then one of those two are wrong. Right? The model of the world, the understanding of the world is wrong, or that piece of information is wrong. As an elf mage hero, it's probably the piece of information that's wrong, because you spend a lot of time analyzing and things like that. But you, as an INFJ, are not an elf mage hero. It's your newbie. So those models are sometimes flawed. But you'll think that it's the correct information, it's the correct model, and you'll try to use it. I equated it to like the elf mage thinking that, you know, throwing an ice bolt or an arcane blast, let's say an arcane blast and an arcane golem is going to do more damage to it somehow, and it doesn't. It just doesn't do that, right? So it's just kind of a flawed sense of logic. And it's easy for you to listen to your newbie over your companion, because you both are elves, you both speak the same language, you both like the idea of taking a step back and analyzing the situation. And it's difficult for you to use that dwarf healer style and just run out into the world and make it a better place, right? Because there's a lot of scary things. There are a lot of scary things out there. Yeah. So your let's go down to the escort. Your fourth function, your inferior or aspirational function, I call it the escort, and for you it's a dwarf warrior, extroverted sensing, and it runs in there, swings, and does as much damage as it can before it crashes. For you, right? That's just, you don't have the skill in it that you want. And this is a problem area for you. And eventually, if you spend enough time trying to understand how your mental wiring works, eventually, you know, you'll be a lot better at it. Never be to the same degree as your hero class, but that's okay. So it can kind of go two ways. You can, like, if you get stressed out, you can either focus on what your hero does best, which is understanding the world through your own past experiences, and ignoring all the real tangible stuff in the world, which is what extroverted sensing gives you, right? And that's not good, because that means that you'll be too much of a perfectionist and you'll just be too idealistic, I guess, with everything. Or if you get really stressed out and you don't have that energy anymore, you might just tell your hero style to just chill, take a step back, and let the escort go out there and run into the world and embrace all the sensing aspects of it. And this is when, you get that stereotypical, like, drink too much and gamble and risk take and stuff like that. Eat too much, be impulsive, all that. I was going to say good stuff, but it's not really good stuff, is it? So be careful with your escort. Be careful with listening to your newbie, introverted thinking too much. And try to focus on using extroverted sensing, or extroverted feeling, the dwarf healer aspect of you. Put them all together and your elf functions, your elf classes, are going to give you deep model-based understanding of the world, and your extroverted functions are going to give you a real way of interacting with the world, and mainly with people. And then all together, you have a strong, balanced team that is contemplative and secure with who they are, and very gracious and helpful. You like to help people, and you'll have a real way of doing it through using your escort. Hope that worked out. Hope that made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd like to respond to them and see what happens. All right. Well, good luck. Have fun. Thanks for watching. See you.